Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel that is Science Unlocked, and today we are going to continue with our concept related with sorting materials into group. Now we have already discussed about two properties or characteristics of material on the basis of which we will going to categorize the things, that is appearance, and second thing was whether the material is hard or soft in touch. So the next property that we are going to discuss today is about the solubility in water. Now, whenever we talk about the concept of solubility, it is the concept where we talk about dissolving different material into water. Whenever we add something into the water, let us say salt, sugar, chalk powder, anything that we can think of, and we give it a stir and keep on mixing it properly with the best possibility, we will see that there will be certain conditions, certain combinations, mixtures where this thing will, the material that we have added, that is the solute that we are adding to the water, that will going to mix properly and will disappear in the water. On the other hand, there are certain things which will not going to disappear and will remain in the water. So the material which will going to totally get dissolved in the water and will going to disappear, they are considered as material or substances which are soluble or miscible in water. And the best example for that is salt and sugar solution. On the other hand, the material which do not dissolve into the water, they are considered as immiscible or insoluble substances. For example, we have sand, chalk, sawdust and all these things. So this is the part of solubility where we talk about the fact that certain things will going to get dissolved totally inside the water, whereas there are certain things which will not. On the other hand, the next aspect that we have in terms of the property is the flotation technique. Now, flotation in water is basically the concept that whenever you are going to put something inside water, some of them will going to float, whereas some will sink into the bottom, which is dependent on the concept of density of the object. So whenever we will find that we are going to put something inside the water which is having higher density than water, then in that case we will see and we will observe that the objects will sink inside the water. On the other hand, whenever we see this thing that, or whenever we do this thing where we are going to see that something which is having lighter density than water, then it will going to float on the water. For example, we have different things in around us which will going to float on water, which have light density. For example, leaves, the paper boat, thin twigs as well. So we can say that anything which is going to have space inside it, which will going to have lighter density, that will float. On the other hand, things like heavy bricks, stone, something which is made up of metal will going to sink inside the water. Now, the next property that we have is the property of transparency, or you can say the property of allowing the light to pass through it, out of which we have categorization of object on the basis of the transparency, that whether a material is allowing the light to pass through it completely or not. So whenever anything is allowing the light to pass through it properly, we will be able to see the things which are on the other side of the material. For example, we talk about air, glass, water and such things. So these materials are called as transparent materials, or simply the transparent objects. The second category on the basis of the fact that whether the object is allowing the light to pass through it, we have the category which is called translucent objects. Now over here we will see that the light is passing through it, but it is passing partially. So we will see something on the other side, that something is there, but it will not going to be clear, it will be blur in nature. So as you can see over here, this picture where the thing that is on the other side, we can imagine and we can say that it is a human, but we cannot say that whether it is a man or a woman. So these kind of blurriness appears, haziness comes in the category of translucent, which can be created sometimes, for example, in the case of oily water as well. Now on the basis of same property, we have another category of materials, that is the opaque objects. Now anything which is not allowing the light to pass through it at all, it is not allowing the light to pass through it at all. In this kind of a condition, we will say that the object is an opaque object. Now these objects will not going to allow us see anything which is behind the object. For example, we can talk about any device that we are holding in our hands. We can talk about a wall, we can talk about a door which is made up of wood or even metal which does not have any kind of appearance on the back side. So that is the categorization. Now I have a complete comparison between the three set of objects on the basis of ability to allow to pass the light through it. Like as over here we can see that this object, the transparent object, is allowing the shadow to be made, but the shadow is very light because the light is passing through it straight away. The light is not getting any kind of restriction or any kind of hold in between. On the other hand, if we talk about the second case, that is the translucent material, here the shadow has become darker. Why? Because the transparency has reduced. On the other hand, when we talk about the third case, that is the opaque object, over here the shadow is going to be much darker and much clearer because the object is holding the whole light passing through it and it is not allowing to pass through it. So that is one of the categorization of objects on the basis of the property of allowing the light to pass through it or not. The last but not the least property is the conductivity of electricity and heat through the object, which is collectively can be considered as electrical and heat conductivity. Now you must be thinking that why am I taking electrical and heat conductivity together? First let's understand that what exactly electrical and heat conductivity means, then you will be able to understand that why I have taken both the things together. The very first thing is about electrical conductivity. So it is the property of the different materials where they will going to conduct electricity through it or not. Means anything which is going to provide the ability to conduct the electricity through it, then in that case it will be considered as an electrical conductor. On the other hand, heat conductivity is the property of material to determine whether the material will going to conduct the heat through it or not. So anything that is conducting heat will be considered as heat conductivity. Now whenever we will talk about the examples of material which are showing the electrical conductivity and heat conductivity, we will find that they are same. Means anything which is a good electrical conductor will going to be a good heat conductor as well. On the other hand, something which is not allowing the electricity to pass through it will not allow the heat to pass through it properly. And because of this reason, I have taken the concepts together, and we will find that most of the time metals are the good conductors, graphite, human body, and there are certain other things as well which we can consider as the good conductor of heat and electricity. On the other hand, the things like this, the plastic, fabric, then wood, all these things are going to be the poor conductors of electricity and heat. With this we have done this particular chapter. So in the next class we will going to take up a new chapter. Till then, take care and keep learning.